Hello, my name is Rachel, and today I'm going to tell you about a few exciting new releases coming out today, January 17th, 2017. First up is the book that I read for the week, and that is The Radius of Us by Marie Marcourt, I think. This was such a surprise. I don't think the summary really got me that excited for it, but it seemed a little bit different than what I'd been reading so far this year, so I decided to try it. And I loved this book. I thought it was fabulous. It follows the story of two teenagers, both who are having just a really hard time, and they just feel like nobody really understands where they're at right now and the difficulties they're having, and they kind of find each other and realize they can support each other, and they help each other, and it's just, I thought it was so good. I'm sure some people reading this will find a few like nitpicky things that they didn't like about it, but I was just so in love with this book that I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It follows our main character Gretchen, who has just been attacked coming home from work, and now she's having a really hard time coping with it. She's got panic attacks, and she can't really go anywhere by herself, and it is really affecting her in a negative way. And again, she doesn't really feel like anybody understands where she's coming from. And she meets Phoenix, who is from El Salvador. He felt like he was being threatened by this gang in his hometown. He was in fear for his life and the life of his young brother, so they decide to head for America. When they are traveling, though, they have a lot of traumatic things happen to them on their way up through Mexico. And when they get to the border, he asks for asylum, and they immediately split the two up. Because Phoenix is 18, he goes into the detention center, and the brother is put in a special unit for children. And the brother is no longer speaking because of all the trauma they face on the way up. And Phoenix is facing deportation, but this couple who lives in Gretchen's neighborhood, how they meet, adopts him, and he's living with them for the time being while he's waiting to find out if they're allowed to stay, if they can get citizenship, if they're going to get deported. And both of them are just struggling so much, and they just come together and really help each other. I just loved this book. I thought it was fabulous. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The one thing that I wrote a couple things down when I was reading this. The first was that there is a character in this book named Ty Pennington, which made me laugh because wasn't that the crazy guy from the Home Makeover show? Like, that's immediately who I thought of. That guy came into my head. And obviously that's not who it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this teenager in this book, but it was just really funny. The second thing was he kept referring to her as Crazy Beautiful. Phoenix kept referring to Gretchen, and it made me think of the movie Crazy Beautiful. And even though it's not the same storyline, it's got some of the same elements of these two people from very different backgrounds who can relate with the fact that their lives are just kind of messed up right now. And it really made me want to go back and watch that movie, so I'm so excited. But anyway, a long rant about it. You need to read this book because it is fabulous. It is probably my favorite book that I've read so far this year, even though I haven't read too much yet, but still, I love it. It's called The Radius of Us by Marie Marcourt. So next up, I'm going to tell you a few other books that are just on my radar that are coming out today that I'm excited for. First up is Indelible by Adela Saunders, and this is kind of a realistic-y fiction book. However, there is definitely a magical element to it. The main character, Magdalena, I think, she can see writing on people's bodies. So when she meets somebody, she can see a lot of information about them, like important dates and names and places and information, like written on their body. Even though this isn't something anybody else can see, it's kind of imaginary ink, if you will. She can't see anything on her own body either. However, I believe she is traveling, I think in Paris, and she meets a guy who has her name written on his body. And I don't know what happens from there, but I thought it sounded like a very interesting premise, so that is on my radar. Next up is one that I've seen buzzed here on YouTube, and that is History is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. I believe this is about someone who loses an ex in their life, but it was really important to them. They always assumed they were going to get back together, and now obviously that's never going to happen. And I believe things just kind of spiral down from there. I think this involves diverse characters and relationships. I think this also touches on mental health, so I think this will be one that we hear about a lot. And last up is Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth of the Divergent fame. And I don't know much about this at all, except that it comes out today and that it is a sci-fi book, a little bit more away from the fantasy, more into the sci-fi. And I think it's going to be a series, and I am super excited. I'm going to go listen to Veronica Roth speak on Thursday, and I'm going to be getting a signed copy of this book. So I'm super excited, and we'll definitely be doing a review in the future. So those are my top picks for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know below any books that you are excited for coming out today, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.